Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/JustNoMil. In today's episode, AITA for saying I don't want visitors for 1 week after I give birth. MIL's double standards with the grandkids. Will MIL's manipulation never end? Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. AITA for saying I don't want visitors for 1 week after I give birth. I am pregnant with my third child. My husband and I decided that we do not want any visitors at our home for 1 week. Simply because we have another child that is relatively close in age with the new baby coming. I sent a message my in-laws and my parents saying that they are more than welcome to visit at the hospital when I deliver our baby, but we ask that they kindly respect our wish as parents to not visit our home for 1 week. Just so we can get situated and adjusted with having 3 kids and 2 out of the 3 being under the age of 3. My parents were supportive and understood and didn't argue about the decision we made, but my MIL on the other hand did not take it so well. She called my husband and said what I sent in the group chat was completely disrespectful in their culture, and for that reason she will no longer visit our house ever again. I really wasn't trying to cause problems, we just wanted a 1 week to get things situated, but I am starting to feel like she's kind of throwing a tantrum because she's not getting her way. It makes me wonder if she thought I only wanted not my family to visit for 1 week and give her the okay to visit. I just wish she wouldn't throw culture into this because I feel like it has nothing to do with culture. Whenever things don't go her way or she has a disagreement with me, she always throws culture or how I'm being so disrespectful towards her and her culture. Since when do I not get a say as to what my husband and I decide to do with our kids? I have a lot of unresolved, bottled up emotions towards this woman, and I can't help but wonder if I'm the holy in not allowing any visitors in our home for 1 week. Well then I guess she's never visiting again. Seriously, let her have a fit. I'd make her wait 2 weeks just because she wants to be a twit. Every time she acts like a child, add another week on. You would not be the AH if you didn't want visitors for 6 months to protect your child from illnesses until they could get their vaccinations. Who knows what kind of germs people can pick up and then infect your child whose undeveloped immune system would not protect them from those germs. Now that MIL has stated she won't come to your house ever again, hold her to it. Let your husband respond back to her, okay, Mom, we accept that you won't come to our home and we will hold you to it. If you cannot be understanding about what our family chooses to do, it's disappointing, but we will respect your choice. And then watch her backpedal. I'd pop her back with, well, in my culture it's disrespectful to disregard the parents' wishes. She wanna pull that card, then I'd pull it back. I'm about to have our first baby in a couple days and I'm the first daughter to not allow visitors at the hospital or at home for a while. Me and my husband want this time for ourselves and to figure out adjustments without someone behind us watching and trying to give their 2 cents. So no. You are absolutely in the right to make such a simple and innocent and understanding request. MIL is just being a biddy. Tell him to say, awesome. Thanks for understanding. She wants him to chase her and fall over himself, apologizing and backtracking. You want and need space. Take the win and don't spend another minute thinking about her selfish behavior. What everyone is overlooking is, what is best for OP's children. 1 week is absolutely reasonable if not generous. The kids need time to adjust to the new baby and bond. By kid 3 I was up to 6 weeks no visitors. And that absolutely included the hospital. I was not expecting this many responses. I will keep you guys updated as to how this all turns out, but I definitely am not backing down. I am and will be standing my ground from here on out. Enough is enough already with the manipulation and guilt trips. No more. She throws out culture because she is trying to guilt you into giving her what she wants. She is trying to make you feel like you are throwing out the race card. It is a manipulation tactic that has worked for her in the past. Don't give in, don't let her think that is all that it takes to get around you, or it will get worse. Honestly, only 1 week doesn't even seem like enough time to adjust properly, but then again I haven't had kids, and the idea of 3 with 1 newborn and the other under 3 is enough for me to be like nope. It's not a culture thing, it's you and your husband trying to settle your family. No, you are not the at all for this. Keep those boundaries. And just reply, okay. Mil needs a timeout for that boundary stomping, and she's provided that by her. I will no longer visit your house. I'd have let her know that since she no longer intends to visit your home, sadly she won't be visiting her new grandchild, and the other 2 as well, anytime in the near future. If she tries to change her tune, let her know that she's on a timeout until she makes a heartfelt apology. Mil's double standards with the grandkids. sends vacation selfies featuring our DS. Mil's response is to comment on how fed up our kid looks. Well, yeah, he's a toddler and obviously isn't going to be as delighted being in a scenic location on a scorching hot day as he would be with, say, a toy store or water park. BILs send pics of their kids. Mil comments positively on every mundane aspect, from clothes to weather to location, no matter how cheesed off the kids look. The same Mil who has totally ignored my second pregnancy. I see you, Mil. If you think you can make my DS the scapegoat and my future DD the super scapegoat, then you've another thing coming. Just breaks my heart when tries to send something nice and it backfires like that. Just say something nice or say nothing at all, Mil. It won't kill you. Stop sending or tagging her pictures, period. When, and if she notices, just tell her that you didn't think she was interested in seeing your child, Ren's, pictures because she always has something negative to say. And, while it may not matter to your children now, at some point your children will become aware of the negativity and the differing treatments between the cousins. An information diet is definitely looking necessary with your Mil until she knocks off the special treatment. As a mother of 3, grandmother of 6, I just cannot fathom this behavior, period. Best wishes and many blessings. And block. If she can't be nice, she can't be involved or even a spectator. How does assess the situation? Does he see the disparity in how he is treated compared to his brother? If so, does he see it as a problem for you and your kiddos as well? If he sees it's a problem, what is he going to do about it? Be a champion for change. Reduce contact. Ignore it and make his family put up with it the way he always has? With your husband's response firmly in mind, what are your options? I often wonder why there are so many rotten parents in this world. Like, for real. My friends don't have 1/100th of the issues I have had. I just can't wrap my head around not liking a kid because you don't like your Dale. It's reprehensible. They're broken people. Time for an info diet. Agreed. Why even bother sending? Go completely silent. Mine has literally nothing positive to say. It's horrible for my DH, like being nice or even just positive would kill them. Will MIL's manipulation never end? I, like many of you, could write a book about my JustNoMil. She seemed so sweet in the beginning, but I should have listened to my SO's warnings. He told me she was one of those people who was just so nice you could hate her. He was right. Anyway, the most recent incident doesn't so much have me fuming as it's got me in disbelief. The ball's on this woman. A little backstory for you, my SO and I have been together for about 9 years, and married for 7. In that time we have been through a lot of shit, some of which MIL caused, some of which she made worse, and lots of which she had nothing to do with. So is a recovering alcoholic with PTSD. In the course of treatment, he realized the psychological trauma his mother had caused. It has taken years for the entirety of her bullshit to be revealed. Because of all of this and my own personal desires, or lack thereof, we are also consensually childless. In the first few years, So struggled greatly with work and education. After a major crisis, he had to take serious time off to reflect before starting down his current, largely successful, path. There's been some other interpersonal shit with our marriage that isn't relevant to this current situation, but suffice it to say that it's been incredibly hard on me. He acknowledges this strain and uneven emotional load, and knows that I'm pretty drained. He also continues to go to therapy regularly. To the current events, So and I experienced a major crisis last week. It immediately brought back themes of previous crises in our marriage which were fairly emotionally traumatic for me. At the time, I swore I couldn't go through it again. Between that and other experiences in the last 2 years, we'd been on thin ice maritally. When this happened, I hit a breaking point. The initial circumstances were too much and we both snapped, that is, we both came to a point where we thought it was time to call it quits. We care about each other immensely and are each other's best friends, but sometimes these things just happen. So began informing some people in his life of the event and letting them know he may need a place to stay, including his parents. I thought that was a bit extreme, but I let him cope his own way. We were both sad, but resigned to what we thought was really the best thing for us. In the end we are still always going to be friends. As the days progressed, we learned more about the situation that caused the crisis. Others with more experience provided some information that revealed the initial circumstances were not nearly so dire as we had been led to believe. In fact, while it was still a shitty situation, it seemed like it was all going to be okay. I was skeptical and so stuck to my guns, but downgraded from divorce to separation. He was clearly sad about that, and hopeful that with new information I would change my position, but he also understood where I was coming from and agreed to it. Then came JustNoMil. So and I had standing plans to go out of town. As we are still friends and the plans involved a large group, we still chose to go. This meant our dog would be staying with MIL and FIL. So got the job of bringing the dog to MIL because I certainly wasn't going to do it. Well. So comes back and is in a clearly different mindset. I'll save you the deets of the conversation, but basically, MIL had reassured him it was okay, seemed totally fine, ambivalent. Happy. One has to wonder, about the divorce, and, from what I can glean, basically pushed him to get the ball rolling because, after 10 years of marriage, she's entitled to half of all your future earnings. Firstly, I am not, nor have I ever been that kind of person. Secondly, she is that kind of person. She divorced SO's father when they were kids, made up major lies about their father, remarried a couple years later, has been married for nearly 30 years, and still draws half of SO's father's military retirement. To fast-track the rest of this story. So and I had a very intense conversation in the car while on the way to our destination. He was now of the mindset that we should just divorce. While he believed that I wouldn't come for his money, and I was suspicious of this very vague rule but had no immediate means to research, he wasn't willing to take that bet as he works in a very high-paying field. Okay, fine. Our drive continues and we have good conversation, reminiscent of our usual banter. The getaway goes very well and we have a great time both with each other and with the others. It helps remind me of just how much good there is in our relationship. First thing I do when I get home is research this supposed 10-year rule. Sure, it exists, in some states. 10 years means your marriage is considered long-term, which means that, yes, you are entitled to some extras in the instance of divorce. But it varies state by state, and it isn't the entirety of a person's future earnings. It's their Social Security and their military retirement, which only applies if they were married during the other person's active duty. So and I have a serious heart-to-heart. We hash all of this out. I explain my research on MIL's dark seed, as well as my thought process. I take ownership of all that I said and felt in the moments of crisis and panic. He does the same. He vows to keep working on himself and to keep up with his therapy. I vow to find ways to continue to improve myself and our marriage. We think of all the good times and we commit to making this work. And then I get to say, I do not like your mother. He says he doesn't really either. I say, you know that she said that because she was probably happy about the divorce. That she never liked me much and that she thought you could get rid of me, then marry someone else and give her grandkids. He agreed, and is pissed that she once again managed to manipulate him. So here's hoping to the best marriage and a lot less of the JustNoMil in the future. You mention in your post that your DH goes to therapy but you are just going to work on yourself, but the tone of your post really has me thinking that you have some trauma from the past events that have gone unaddressed. I think you could also benefit from some therapy to work through those feelings and hopefully not be re-traumatized by similar situations in the future. Best of luck. To answer your title question, no. She will continue to manipulate as long as people fall for it and she gets away with it. It is good you and So could talk and work through the problem, but it would not have been a problem if So had shut her down or ignored her comments. Moving forward, I hope So can work on why he listened to her and reacted instead of seeing what she was trying to do and thinking for himself. You and So got through this one, but it is worrisome he can still be manipulated by her and his reaction is to let her comments hold such sway over your marriage. It is encouraging he plans to keep up with therapy. Hopefully this was just a little setback and you and So can move forward and get stronger and healthier as a couple and individually. Best wishes to you both. Short answer. Nope. Long answer, a manipulator manipulates, it's what they do. Looking back at my own life, I'd guess it's what they've always done. If your MIL has always done it, and gotten her wants met by doing it, that is a superpower that she may not want, or even be able to, let go of. She'll even deny it, so she knows it's a bad thing. Or go on the offensive, OMG, how could you say such a thing about me? Why would you lie about me, or even so, like that? If any of that sounds vaguely familiar, don't freak out. It just means you have good spidey sense about her. Trust it. You can still get around her BS, as a team. Hard to manipulate people who are on the same page. Recommendation: while the two of you work on your marriage and lives, cut back on her eating up bandwidth in your world. I'm not saying NC, but so LC you could slip by walking under a ladybug and she'd never know you were there. You can strip her of her arsenal of manipulation. Never be alone with her, to keep her from playing, he said, she said. Don't buy into any statement of, we need to talk. No, Esichi needs to talk. She can't win a game nobody else will play. It stings even more to know the other players know her game. Your husband seems to have decent insight regarding his mother. It surprises me that he hasn't started receiving every statement she makes with suspicion. Your husband was a part of January 6th. LOL. Hang on, what? Out of curiosity, is the crisis you keep sidestepping domestic violence or substance abuse? I'm glad to hear that you and So figured out what JNMIL was up to and she didn't win what she wanted. Half of SS wouldn't even take anything away from him. I got very sick and ended up on SSD early. And 10 years meaning long-term usually applies to income differences during the marriage and for situations like Assam. People love to twist and make up legal advice to manipulate others. My ex-JN told us all about common law marriage, in a state that doesn't have it. I hope he gets to NC for his own sake. I'm glad you pointed that out. His SS is still his, it's just a long-term spouse is eligible for an additional benefit, assuming it's greater than she would get on her own record. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.